Hey everybody, hey traders, Chris Paul over here. Welcome back to another installment of my Keep It Seriously Simple video series where I'm helping traders of all ability levels in all financial markets trade to be more consistently profitable. Now, this video has been a long time coming. I have had a ton of requests in this one. This is about harmonic patterns and the alignments that I trade them with. So if you're not familiar with harmonic patterns, I will show you. I have a screenshot that actually lists all of the major ones that I trade. If you have software out there, there's software available for MetaTrader 4 and certain charting platforms as well that will essentially scan your stock symbols or scan your Forex pairs and find you these amazing harmonic patterns. Now, they are all about certain turning points. They are all rooted in math and Fibonacci's, and we're looking for levels to basically see that the market is overextended, looking for a turn off support, overextended, looking for a turn off resistance. What I also like to pair these harmonic patterns with is missed pivots, overbought and oversold conditions, and divergence. If I have those combination, those alignments, I love this combined strategy. Now, the reason I'm showing you this video and doing this video now is number one, by lots and lots of requests in my trading room. But number two, this really has been the combination that allows me to grow. So the reason I'm putting this together now is number one, I've had a ton of requests in my trading room for this being one of my favorite strategies. And number two, this is during my career that now spans 12 years of full-time trading. This has been where I kind of discovered lightning in a bottle and I grew my account the fastest. This was my biggest leap from when I put, my big deposit was around $20,000. I grew from, $2,000, $2,500 on my first live account, from 25 up towards 10, gave some back, kind of treaded water a little bit, got it up towards $10,000. From 10 to 25 was my big investment. So I put another, $15,000 in, brought my Forex account up at that time to 25K, and from 25K to 100K in just around 2 years. And a lot of it is owed to this strategy. So does it still work today? Absolutely. The alignments that I'm looking for, it's a great combination to see you have a high degree of certainty and probability. I will say that when I was doing this back in 2013, 14, I was also trading probably larger than I should have. For a $25,000 account, I was trading, anywhere between 1 to 3 standard lots. But I also at the time had a broker that was allowing me 100 to 1 leverage. So the difference today would be my broker is 50 to 1 leverage, so I have less margin to work with. I have less leverage to work with, but I'd essentially take the same strategies. I would just try to keep my drawdown very, very tight. At the time, it's my own personal capital. I'm willing to let my drawdowns go 10, 15, 20%. I didn't have a lot of losing trades. I mean, that's what gave me this tremendous amount of confidence in the strategy. Is I was winning like 85, 90% of my trades. And that 10% that got me into trouble were trades that I was confident still working myself through. So keep in mind, just full transparency and disclosure on the strategy is I'm not trading with a defined stop area necessarily. What I am doing is I'm using really high time frames, really high time frame structure and patterns, and I'm using, the other alignments that are overbought, oversold, divergence. I love this alignment for probabilities where we're going to see a defined bottom to form. We can take some profits. Now, man, get it over. And that is the one thing that I stress with any new trader or any trader that's been learning or any trader that's been around is if you are trading high risk for high reward, that's understandable. But I'm all about preserving my capital, keeping my capital. And even at that time, if I were to go back to 2013, 14, where I'm really making these tremendous gains, it's exciting. But now that I'm doing it full time, like I'm trying to take the excitement out of it. I'm trying to take the stress out of it. And that comes back to just good sound equity management. So I want you to pay attention to how the strategy unfolds, the alignments that I'm looking for, why I love that you can see everything very clearly on your charts. And so that gives you all the visual alignments you're looking for, all the kind of indicator alignments that you're looking for. And then we start looking at using sound equity management, spacing out trades, and having a high probability of price going our way. And when we have direction, we tend to have profits. It's just a matter of how well do we protect them. All right, so this video is harmonics and all of my favorite alignments to go into those trades. So first, let's start off with, I'm going to get myself out of the way here and park me in the lower right-hand corner. Hey, let's talk about what a harmonic pattern is. So this is a currency pair right here. This is New Zealand CAD. And you can see that if I scroll back in time, you're going to see lots of these little patterns popping up on the screen. Now, what these harmonic patterns represent are mathematical ways in using Fibonacci's that the market creates these X, A, B, C, D patterns. And it looks something like this. So I have a tool right here that is an X, A, B, C, D tool. So if we have a high, low swing, the market oftentimes does an A, B, C, D type movement. And so even though, like right here, this could still be a Gartley pattern, it could still stretch, it could still stretch, it could still stretch. This is still a valid Gartley pattern. Now, what I'm looking for is if this pattern is forming and my software pops up and shows that we have a max Gartley pattern here, what I want to see, and this is going to be really important, I want to see that not only do we have this X, A, B, C, D, but in this stretch right here from the C to the D, let me label this. So right here, this is the C, and this is the D. All right. So if we have the C to D, what we're going to have here is a pretty nice swing from low to high. Now, you see that if I hover over this, that there's a 38% pullback level, a 50% pullback level, and a 618 pullback level. That represents our profit zone. So right here, this area is roughly going to be, if we start taking sell trades, right here, let me hover over this. If we start taking sell trades, let me move this box up a little bit, there. If we start taking sell trades, then we're looking for the 382.50618 to be our profit zone. So we're basically looking, I'll turn this green, and we are looking for opportunities to sell in here. So it would be up in this area, in this area, in this area. I'm just looking to properly level myself in for some sell highs and take my trades back down into this profit window. Right now, this little spot, I'm just going to go ahead and label this. I talk about this all the time in my trading room. I like selling high, and here's what I'm looking to sell. All right, I want to see, and I'll use my little text box here. So I want to see if we're creating this X, A, B, C, D pattern, I want to see that from the C to D, I want to see that we have missed pivots. Now that could be, daily pivots. That could be weekly pivots, and that might be a monthly pivot or two, okay? But I want to see missed pivots. I also want to see as price is stretching towards the end of this move from the C to D, once it gets up towards these highs, I also want to see in this case, it would be overbought conditions. All right, and we can measure that with something as simple as a relative strength index. If it's up into the overbought conditions, that's a good spot to look for chances to sell. You can start looking at candlestick formations and indecision, but I want to see just from an alignment standpoint, do we have overbought conditions? Relative strength is something very easy to follow. Do we also have divergence? And that is price disagrees with momentum. Okay, so if we have this combination, this to me is my bread and butter. I mean, if I see that we have a really strong harmonic pattern and it's a higher time frame, so we probably have somewhere between 300 and 500 pips of breathing room. Like this high to this profit window is probably somewhere between 300 and 500 pips. That is plenty of space for me to start looking at building some small positions and work my way through a really profitable trade. And I don't have to hold it all the way to my exact target. I can take profit at a really conservative profit target, but it's my window that I want to see price cooperate in. And one more piece that I'm going to label is right here. This B is what I call the harmonic merge. Harmonic merge. And that is just where the pattern comes together, right? In fact, that is one of my favorite spots to take profit. Now I know that price should be able to run a little bit lower, but basically when we have the X, A, B, C, D, if I can sell it nice and high and have profits run back into those levels, if I have direction going in my favor, at least to this harmonic merge, I know that I have a really high percentage trade. So the way that I'm trying to get there is sell it nice and high. All right, look for some trend line breaks, look for some price patterns up near these highs, and then start noticing that on the CDD swing, yes, we're going to have missed pivots most likely, maybe a cluster of pivots. We're going to have overbought conditions. We're going to have overstretched markets. We're going to have divergence where price disagrees with momentum. When I start getting these alignments, I'm starting to look for my sell trades. When price starts to go my way, this level, this harmonic merge, is my safety profit. If price goes any further, I'm trying to let my profits run into that kind of extra kind of gravy zone where we're eliminating all of our risk as we hit the merge, moving stop losses into profit. If it goes lower, we're looking to close up this thing for a successful harmonic trade. All right. So let's take this again. These are some of the alignments I'm looking for. I have my harmonic merge. Now let's see if you can recognize if I draw a pattern here. Let's go to another XABCD tool. Now, just so you know, harmonic patterns, I've been using them because of software. All right, I can recognize one harmonic pattern in my trading, and that is a Gartley pattern. That's about the only one I can really recognize. Other than that, I'm just letting the harmonic patterns be printed solely by using my charting software. So in that sense, don't think that you have to recognize or memorize all of these different patterns because it's super, super difficult, in my opinion at least. So let's take another one. So here's our X, A, B, C, D. Let's go X, A, B, C, D. Same thing. Okay, now put this together. Do we have a pattern? Yes, we do. We have our X, A, B, C, D. If I hover over this, can you see that I have my profit window? I have my 382 down here, my 50, and my 618. Now, notice that my harmonic merge is in the middle again. So if this is my harmonic merge, right in the middle, I have my 382, 50, 618. I'll draw a box there. So right in here, that's my profit window. And I'm going to look for the same conditions. If we are seeing that this C to D movement, this is going to be a long trend of some sort. If it stretches into the C to D and creates this full-on pattern, I'm looking for, from the C to D, do we have missed pivots? Do we have a cluster of missed pivots? Do we have dailies and weeklies next to each other? Do we have weeklies and monthlies next to each other? That's a nice little pivot cluster. Awesome. Do we have oversold conditions? And that's going to be the difference, right? This one, we're looking for a chance to buy low. This one over here, we're looking for a chance to sell high. So this would be oversold conditions. And we still want to see divergence, which means our price is disagreeing with momentum, right? So if we see oversold conditions and divergence and our clusters of missed pivots, I will start looking for levels to buy. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly do you take these trades? How do you time these trades? It can be really, really simple. You can use just a trend line. If you draw a trend line, let's see, you can connect some prices, right? Let's say we have price doing this, still going higher, still going higher, still going higher. Rather than guessing where the top is, you can simply connect the lows and say, you know what? I'm going to start looking to sell on the right-hand side of the trend line. And then if I get a chance to sell it here, I will also use that same high to sell it again. So you can sell the confirmation of a trend line break. You can sell another pullback, and that gives you entry 1, entry 2, and again, direction probably will go your way with overbought conditions in this case, divergence, plus the probability that we're going to have price fall back into this profit window and fulfill this harmonic pattern. Same thing over here. If price keeps going lower, lower, and lower, you can simply look for a trend line break. Get on the right-hand side of the trend line. You can trade that confirmation. You can look for a pullback into the same low. Trade that extra equal low. You can buy nice and low with a couple of small positions. Be flexible because we're looking for price to go our way and get back into this profit window. Get back to this harmonic merge. Get back into this profit window so we can start protecting our profits. Right now, I know this question is going to come up. What if price goes higher? What if price goes lower? What do we do then? I will show you. If I have a trade like so, let's say I see a trend line and the trend line breaks, and then it retests the high, and then it retests the high, and then it retests the high. Look, what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to say, okay, there's a trade on a trend line break. There's a trade at an equal high. If it goes a little bit higher, I'll just wait. If it goes like another full daily trading range against me, I will wait. I will look left on my chart, maybe recognize a higher level of resistance that I can sell nice and high at. So it'd be, kind of dipping my toe in the water on trade 1, a retest for trade 2. If it goes a little bit higher, maybe I draw another trend line over here. And then I take trade 3 on the right-hand side of that trend line. Maybe it's at a previous level of resistance. I could put in a trade 3. but I'm using small trade sizes and I'm spacing out those trade sizes. All right. Now, once I start testing the waters here and the trade starts to go my way, the best part about this setup and the best part about this strategy is that I can add to my winning positions. And so I know I did an entire video on adding to winning positions. You can certainly watch that to complement this video. But that's what makes this strategy super powerful is we are, able to find some really high percentage setups, but we can also add to our winning positions, allowing us to make our profits much bigger than our risk. And so even though I don't have a super specific and a super strict stop on my trade, what I'm doing is I'm basically trading the time and I'm trading the probability that I can work this trade into my favor. And I can see this trade at least cooperate into this harmonic merge. I can see this trade cooperate into this profit window. And if it gets anywhere close to this trade, especially after leveling myself in, taking some add-on trades, you want to make sure that you are protecting those profits anywhere into this profit window. Same thing down here. If we're looking at, okay, we have a trend line break and it breaks the trend line. So you test the waters, and then it comes back and it tests the low. You test the waters, and then it goes lower a couple more times. You're like, oh, fudge, now what do I do? Just wait for another trend line break. Look left on your chart, find major support, and you can look at that trade 3 on the right side of this extra trend line, or look for this major level support. Once price starts to go your way, you can start adding to your winning positions. You can start looking at buying dips and buying pullbacks. You can start looking at buy stop levels where price is going your way and price continues to go higher for you to get you back into your profit window. Your 382, your 50, your 618, there's your harmonic merge. All of those for me are profit levels, right? And so we had this ability to see a high percentage pattern form with conditions that help us align where those highs and lows are forming, allowing us to sell nice and high, allowing us to buy nice and low. And once we have some confirmation, we can start adding to our winning positions. So let's put this into practice with some current examples. Now I have to go ahead and delete some of this stuff because I still have analysis on my charts. So let me get rid of all this stuff for a moment. I will be right back. Okay, so here we have an actual currency pair. This is New Zealand CAD, and I have a daily harmonic pattern. Now this is a max butterfly that is fully confirmed and a butterfly that is 94.9% confirmed. Probability to me is very high. You can see that I have a 382, 50, 618 window. This, in fact, is going to be my profit window. I will just go ahead and try to copy that and see if I got that spot on. Pretty close. So let's take this box right there. Hey, that's pretty good. 382, 50, 618. This is going to be my profit window. Now, the reason this is important is on this daily chart, I have my swing from low to high. Now, take a look at this. If I go into my other indicators here, let's go into this chart, and I'm going to bring up those pivots. Okay, so let's see, do we have some pivots that have been missed? So take a look. So this is just the C to D. And you will notice here that we have some pivots that are available, right? Do you see here that we have a weekly pivot right here that is missed? This is 8949. Okay, do we have a couple of daily pivots that have been missed? Yes, we do. So this is what I'm talking about. We have 1, 2 daily pivots in a row. Okay, we have 1 weekly pivot right here. I'm going to make sure that this weekly pivot was actually hit. Otherwise, that's another available weekly target. So, oh, wow, look at that. We 2 in a row. Okay, perfect. So we have, let me use a little rectangle here. So we have 1 daily pivot, 2 daily pivots. We have 1 weekly pivot, 2 weekly pivots. So this entire window, this is what I'm seeing. I see this entire area as a profit potential window. And the reason why is because these pivots are likely going to be hit, all right? Now, in addition to that, and I haven't said this word yet for this video, but it's called a pocket. You see me talk about this a lot in my weekly outlooks. This candle right here is a fantastic candle that is creating an inefficiency or a pocket, all right? Now, I believe that because of our pivot, 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 this is creating a nice little cluster. Because of this pivot also being a nice pocket with my candle. When this is going to start breaking the structure here, we should start seeing that price will start working its way back down to this window and find my pocket, find my harmonic pattern, and that's where I'm interested in this chart going my way. So for what I have been doing on this trade, this is what I've been doing so far. I am simply just waiting for this area to break. Now, I did test the waters a little bit already. I'm already in around 9,000 as a small trade. I'm in again at 9,100 as a small trade. I put in another order at 9,150. I'm just spacing this out essentially by a daily trading range. Now, that's for me just to test the waters. Now, what I'm going to start doing next is if it comes up to 9,150 or 9,200, I'm going to start looking to sell another small level. What I would really like to see happen is for price to get on the right-hand side of this trend line. Once we break here and pull back to equal highs, I'm going to start looking to sell. Then I'm going to start looking for sell stop orders to confirm if we have new breaks and new breaks and new breaks. I'm going to look for some sell stop orders to allow me to add to my winning trade to get price back into this pivot cluster and this pocket area, which also happens to coincide with my window, right? My profit window. So if we take a look at this chart here, where I have my harmonic pattern, okay, this needs to come back into 8945 and all the way down to 8827. So 8945, 8827. Okay, where is my cluster here? This weekly target, this weekly pivot is 8947. That's the top of that range. That's the top of that harmonic window, right? If we get back down to this weekly target, that's 8828, which is 3 pips off the low. So you can see that the alignment of these pivots with that harmonic window from the 382, the 50, the 618, and that harmonic merge, all of those things come together really, really nicely for this area right here to be my profit window. So this to me, from this weekly pivot to this weekly pivot, that pretty much matches with my pocket and the fact that we're looking for this price pattern to turn. I'm looking for price to at least find a way to come back down into this window. Now, it may not come all the way back down to fulfill this low. It may not come all the way back down to hit that 618 on the harmonic pattern. But the probability of getting price, if I'm selling it here, here, and here, break the trend line, I can look for some add-on trades, trade it back down into this area. I believe that price will find that profit window. And when it finds that profit window, as long as I'm adding trades up here and I'm hitting that profit window, I'm protecting my profits, I'm adding to my winning position, and it looks pretty good for me to find a nice profitable trade on this one, good harmonic pattern setup with the right pivot alignments, overbought, oversold conditions, and move on. So you might be asking, what about those overbought, oversold conditions? Take a look. I've got my pivots. Now here is my momentum. Do I have price going higher, but my momentum going lower? Absolutely. That is divergence. That is a nice disagreement. Price is moving higher while momentum is disagreeing. I love the fact that, and again, I'm not calling the top. I know that I'm not spot on with the top, but the likelihood is the bears will come back in and help this currency pair balance to the pivot, to the pivot, to the pocket, to that harmonic level. And if you want to throw one more on there for good measure with that overbought, oversold, you can look at the relative strength index, also known as the RSI. I can throw that on here as well. And you will see here that, let me see the visuals on this. So this is an RSI 14. I'm going to change this to a 21. And you'll notice here that on the 8-hour chart, I did have overbought conditions on this relative strength. So again, at the same time that my price was going higher, momentum was starting to disagree, I was already overbought on the RSI. If I go to a higher time frame, let's see the same thing. Okay, do you notice here that we have a slightly higher high in price with a disagreement in momentum? You notice we have a slightly higher high in price, and price is hitting the top threshold of my relative strength. Good indication that we are overbought and divergent with pivots that have been missed and a harmonic pattern. This is a perfect example for me to start looking to sell. Now, like I said, I'm already in this trade. I started to get into this trade early on based on a pocket opportunity that now has morphed into, holy crap, now I have this amazing harmonic pattern with missed pivots, with overbought conditions, with divergence, which means I'm going to use this area to trade and add to my winning position. So once this starts to confirm, let's say we break the trend line, I'm going to put another sell trade at this high in case we retest it. And I'm going to look to add to my winning position until price comes down into my profit window that I'm looking at from pivot to pocket to my harmonic levels. Okay, so easy way to navigate this, easy way to trade the strategy is the following. Okay, what I'm doing, and this is something that we track every single week in my trading room, is we have harmonics that we just have on every single chart. So take a look here. If I just navigate from time frame to time frame, or I'll stay on the daily chart here, just go to different currency pairs. If I go to Aussie CAD, do we have a daily harmonic pattern? And this varies from dailies to weeklies and even 8-hour charts we sprinkle in here. So anything on the daily, nothing right now. So the good thing is if we just scroll through, let's say 28 currency pairs, do I have a bunch of patterns? Okay, I probably might have, maybe 5 patterns setting up, and that's 5 good trades for me to take a look at. Here is one that's available on the Aussie yen. I can start looking at the same thing. Now, it's a harmonic pattern, yes, but do I see pivots that have been missed? Am I overbought, right? Because this is looking for a X, A, B, C, D. This is a sell trade, but do I have available pivot clusters? Do I have overbought conditions? If I don't, then I'm probably not going to favor this trade. I'm going to look for something that's more overstretched with overbought conditions and divergence. How about the Aussie New Zealand? I'm just going in alphabetical order here. Here is one that started to stretch a little bit lower. So this was a harmonic pattern that ended up popping up to find the 5-0. And this is a good example. This is why I talk about the harmonic merge. Because when traders started to buy this instrument and it ran up into that profit window, this technically is still not a fulfilled harmonic pattern. But you notice that it came back and found the harmonic merge. That is good enough. And that's one thing that I've learned since trading this back in 2012, 13, 14. It's good enough. I don't need to hold this all the way to my destination. If this is, I took some trades in here, had price go my way for a few hundred pips, I should be able to turn that into a winning trade, right? And now that the fact that it's lower, I'm just going to wait for this trend line to break and look for another setup to buy the right-hand side of the trend line, take this back up, and fulfill the remainder of that harmonic pattern. But for the fact that we formed this low and we rallied from 105, let's say 105.80 to 107.50, I mean, that's 180 pips, give or take, 180 pips from low to high. You got to be able to find some way to turn that into profit, all right? So that's a good one that, hit the harmonic merge. That's why that window is super, super important to me. Okay, Aussie dollar. Do we have our harmonic pattern here? Yes, we do. Fantastic looking setup. Again, you've got the harmonic pattern. That's step one. Now look for your missed pivots, look for your overbought conditions, look for your divergence. If you have that, then you're going to start looking for a trend line break. If we start breaking this trend line, break the trend line, retest the high, start looking to get this sell trade, find the harmonic merge, find your 382, 506, 18 levels, and make sure you're protecting those profits in those windows. All right. So, like I said, to me, this was lightning in a bottle. I have changed the way that I've traded it moving forward for a couple of reasons. One, I want to manage my drawdown better. Having a $25,000 account to me is a lot different now than having, over $1 million, right? I mean, I think they're great trades, but I'm not interested in risking 20% of my account on a harmonic setup. I will risk, 2% of my account, 1% of my account, but it's all about maintaining those really, really tight drawdowns for me now. But it's the same process, which is what I'm all about. It's process equals profits. So in summary, if you're liking this strategy, liking this style, there's a couple of easy ways to get these harmonic patterns. One is inside the charting platform Smart Trader, there is something called the Smart Pattern Scanner. And so if you just install this charting software, which is a cloud-based charting software, and you have this tool at the ready, if you click on Smart Patterns and run this will show up on every single chart that is creating valid harmonic patterns. So that is why on this, I'm just scrolling through my different charts. So CAD Swiss as an example. Do I have a pattern on the CAD Swiss? I do not. How about the CAD Yen? Do I have a pattern on that one? So I can go through all of my majors and crosses and find out where do my harmonic patterns sit. And right here, we had a harmonic pattern X, A, B, C, D. You can see that the high was forming. You know what? I would almost promise you that this daily candle, this is going to be November 8th. This is going to be right around that crazy election day or post-election day from 7,900 all the way up to 8,150. That's a crazy big candle. Now, what this also created was massive pockets on the lower time frame. So we may not have had a bunch of missed targets, but we certainly had intraday pockets. We had overbought conditions. We had, disagreement between price and momentum, most likely on multiple lower time frames. And if you look left on the chart, you can see we have resistance right here. We have resistance right here. Prices ran right up to the high and faded it right back down to where the move started. So it's an amazing combination to have. It's high probability stuff. The key for all of you out there that are interested in this strategy is find the harmonic pattern. All right. And one thing I'll do before I go is I will show you my little cheat sheet for the harmonic pattern. So we have a bat pattern, we have a Gartley pattern, we have a crab pattern. Now, like I said, these are all based in Fibonacci extensions and retracements. I do not have any of these memorized. Even after trading all this time, I don't have any of these memorized. So even the one that I can spot, the Gartley pattern, I still don't have it memorized. And the reason why is because if I can see that there's a clean structure on the chart like X, A, B, C, D, basically it means this. If we have a move, we have a swing, and then within that swing, there is a sub swing like that. So we have this swing, sub swing. That's usually where I'm looking at, okay, that's a possibility a harmonic pattern is going to form. That's the only harmonic pattern that I could spot with my own eyes. Otherwise, I'm using the software. These are all the parameters. These are all the measurements. So you've got the bat, the Gartley, the crab pattern, the butterfly pattern. You have the cipher pattern, the shark pattern. Software finds them. As long as I see that we have our high to low or our low to high, and we have pivots in there, we have overbought, oversold conditions in there, and we have divergence in there, I am definitely looking for trades. Okay. So I hope this video helps. Again, this is part of my Keep It Seriously Simple video series. This is about harmonic patterns and harmonic alignments. Really important stuff to take away, but a powerful, powerful lesson and some of the best trading that I've ever found in my career. It still works to this day. These patterns are fantastic. We track these every single week in my trading room. So if you're interested, make sure you sign up for my Flex trading room. That's great. If you like this video, share this video with friends. Click the thumbs up and smash that like button for me. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and other videos like this will be coming very, very soon. Right? Happy trading, everybody. Lots of profits. Talk to you soon.